much. I just got done recording my last episode and I was going to go ahead and tune into this England and Mexico game, but I was in the mood, feeling the vibe. And let's go ahead and dive into this league 100 and let's go ahead and dive into my 106th Dynasty team. Obviously last year, 45 teams. In my first year playing Dynasty, and I've took everything that I've learned last year, the good, the bad, and kind of built my offseason strategy just like the NFL teams do, the college teams do. You know, you got to recruit in college, get your guys. You got NFL, you got free agency, go get your guys to improve your team. I took all the information last year and I have come up with a way where I think I can get the best out of a dynasty team, and that is by having a RB heavy approach to my builds, man. And I mean, I've been drafting, 3 running backs straight off the bat. I've been, even lately in these past teams, I've been getting 4 running back starts and then building my team from there. In this previous team that I went over last time, obviously RB heavy approach with James Cook, Christian McCaffrey, Kenneth Walker, Saquon Barkley. But with this team, I had the 3rd pick. So Bijan and Gibbs went. And this team is different because it has Jamar Chase as an elite wide receiver. And right after I took Jamar Chase at the 103, I drafted 4 running backs consecutively: James Cook, Kenneth Walker, then McCaffrey, and then Saquon in the 5th round. And I have been loving the way that these teams have looked. I am on a streak of week 1 projection win. I'm on a 27 drafting streak of a projection of a week 1 win. 27 straight green beams. Boom, boom, boom. Well, 28 now because the auction draft is done. And I know projection ain't everything, but they mean a little something. I like the way it looks too. But yeah, 116 was an auction draft, 10-second bid, or 10-second nomination, 10-second bid, $200 budget. In most of my auction drafts, I've been doing them so much this offseason. Had none last year, but I'm definitely in the teens this year, maybe up to 14, 15, 16 maybe. And what I like about auctions is like, man, you can get your guys if you really want to go get your guys. And in a lot of these auction drafts, at the beginning, I was getting, Bijan Gibbs, building from there. Bijan Gibbs, building from there. But obviously, you learn more as you go. Obviously, getting Bijan and Gibbs is very pricey in a $200 budget league. You kind of go from there. So I've been getting, at least Bijan, and then, James Cook, Martin Hampton, Saquon, McCaffrey, kind of mix and match there. But this league, obviously, always take a look at your scoring. This one is a 6-point passing TD, passing first down, 0.25, a little extra there. Rushing first down, 0.5. Receiving first down, 0.25. Full point tight end premium here. No crazy bonuses down there. Obviously, when I show you guys the scoring, sometimes my head's in the way, so I like to say them out loud. But obviously, I love doing leagues where running backs get a little bit more because obviously I have that RB heavy approach this year. So once the draft started, obviously Bob has been in my previous auction drafts. As I told you guys, he's super aggressive. He goes Josh Allen, Puka, Jamar Chase, Brock Bowers, Trey McBride, and then he knows getting dollar players from there. Super aggressive. And he always knows that in a lot of drafts, I mean, I've been like 7, 8, 9, 10 drafts with him, that in all those drafts that I'm in, he knows I pay whatever it takes to get Bijan. So lately, he's been driving my price up, knowing that I want Bijan. I like Bob because he brings out my competitive spirit because, I feel like in these drafts, I'm drafting against Bob a lot because his teams are so stacked. And He builds those rosters where KTC says the number one team. Flock Fantasy says is like the number one team in those like power rankings. Before the season, obviously the power rankings don't tell you who's going to win the league, but he's been drafting those teams that are like number one a ton because obviously you have Josh Allen and Puka and Jamar and the tight ends and also if you look up a lot of my teams on Keep Trade Cut and those websites with power rankings, like my teams are not looking good. They're like 10th, 8th, 7th. But those those things don't tell you who's gonna win, man, because those rankings is a lot about youth and the up and comers and stuff like that. But anyway, let's dive into this draft. This draft was a little different. Obviously, Bob trying to drive me up my price on Bijan, but something I did different here. So I went and let Bijan go here. And I was already thinking like, okay, what's this team gonna look like without having Bijan and Gibbs? Obviously it's gonna be backs, but I was more thinking like what backs am I gonna get? And by the time I was thinking about all that, someone nominated Gibbs and he was on the clock. And I was like, man, I'm getting Gibbs. I think I had Gibbs or actually I wasn't thinking Gibbs, but Bob was bidding on Bijan, or he's bidding on Gibbs. And I'm like, I can't let him have Bijan and Gibbs. So I started bidding on Gibbs. He obviously drove the price up. So I got Gibbs at the same price that Bijan went, $43 here. And Saquon Barkley got bid a little early, so I went ahead and got Saquon here for $21. In these drafts, I wanted to be a little different. I'm like thinking like, okay, I know I'm gonna go backs, but I'm gonna try to go young backs, young elite backs, or backs that are the young ones who are high on people's list and the new era in the NFL. So I was thinking like I got to get Genty and Hampton. Those are the guys, the young guys. So obviously I did want McCaffrey, but McCaffrey went here for 21. I was like, I guess this team won't have McCaffrey. So I got Saquon for the same price, but A-Chain was on the clock and people were like, soft bidding him dollar at a time. And I'm like, and he was like ticking down at 25. And I'm like, and I just clicked it. I'm like, A-Chain for 25. So I ended up getting A-Chain for 26. Super happy about that. Cause I mean, that's not a bad price. So then see here, I got Ashton Genty here at $35. And then I got Omari and Hampton here for $32. So this team was completely different. I had 5 backs, 5 running backs. And obviously I keep telling myself, I'll just build the team from here. Obviously I know the targets I want, Mark Andrews, the cheaper guy, quarterbacks. Going to be interesting because I was working with a obviously smaller budget compared to everybody else after taking 5 backs pretty early in the draft too. So I was definitely sitting a long time. But yeah, my wide receiver core absolutely terrible. Trey Harris, $2. Isaac Tesla, $2. Juwan Jennings for $1. And I sat on my money for the longest of time. And like wide receivers like Christian Watson and Wandell and Quentin Johnson were still on the board. And I'm like, I'm all right. I just got to hold and maybe I kept throwing out quarterbacks and running backs, positions that I don't need, trying to push those wide receivers down. But I got sniped, man. I wanted to get Christian Watson. How much did he go for? He didn't even go for a lot. The last one I wanted to get was Wandell, but I happened to spend, $1 or $2 on someone else. And then I got outbid by Wandell by $1 and he only went for like $5. I want to see what Christian Watson was $5 and it's like, I couldn't even get those guys. So it was tough. It was tough sledding the wide receiver spot, man. But I did get Geno for 4. Just before I even did the draft, I always thinking like, I seen that, I was on Twitter and I seen Geno Smith going hard in the gym. I was like, he might start the whole year for the Jets, man. Geno he's trying to have a better year than last year. So I already went to this draft like, if I get, if anything happens, I can get Geno late. Nobody really wants Geno, but I just need a quarterback that will score some points week by week. So I got Geno for 4. I got Malik Willis for $6. So my quarterback starters got for $10. That's pretty good. I mean, Caleb Williams, obviously they're not Caleb, but like I got Gino and Malik Willis for the same for less than Matt Stafford. Tyler Shuck here looks good at 10. Obviously, Bob. Let's look at Bob's team. Obviously, Bob. I think I threw Bob off because he was bidding me for Bijan. I just let him have Bijan. I think that threw off his whole thing because obviously he still went after Puka and JSN and Trey McBride, but then he had no quarterback. Usually he has Josh Allen. So he spent a lot of his last money to get Tyler Shuck. And, he got a running back here for a dollar, Mason Taylor. So not Bob's strongest team. I think me letting him get Bijan kind of threw him off. But, you know, stuff happens. But yeah, look at the wide receiver core. I got Trey Harris, Isaac Tesla, Juwan Jennings. Sheesh. And obviously, I was Bob. Bob likes to bid on certain players late in the draft to try to get in for a dollar, and I was every time he bid someone for a dollar, I was taking him. So I got Trey Harris, outbid him by two. Isaac Tesla outbid him by two. He had like $3 on Geno trying to get his first quarterback. I took Geno for four. So Bob got me with Bijan, but um, I was getting it back later on in the draft. I took Cade Klubnik here just in case Geno gets benched. And they try to throw, the Jets are being so bad that they throw Cade Klubnik out. So just to try to secure my QBs for at least a whole year while I try to win year one. So I took Klubnik there. Dollar players, obviously. I got Aaron Rodgers for three. So, Aaron Rodgers is not the sexiest player. Obviously, he's 40, 42. And we already know this is going to be his last year, but he's going to try to go hard on his last year. So why not have him as a backup? Might use him as a starter at some point. So I went ahead and spent $3 on Aaron Rodgers. Obviously, I didn't have a lot of budget, so I got to try to bargain shop in the sales section. So Darnell Mooney for one, Pat Bryant. And the thing about when you're trying to get players for a dollar, it's like you got to put them out there. But then obviously 10 seconds on the clock, so you gotta just watch it tick down there, try to steal one for a dollar. Flournoy for two, Jack Indries, Ayo Manor, Koziel Knox, Kobe Young, a lot of dollar players here, Spencer Rattler, Yoshivas. But yeah, my wide receiver core, absolutely horrible, but I do got the elite backs. But after the draft, I did need a booster, my wide receiver core. So sleeper don't like the fact that I have all these teams, so it'd be glitching out. Usually, usually when you go into a different league and then go back, but it's not even letting me click out of it. I had to uninstall and install over again. What I was saying was after the draft, cool thing about auctions is you have all your draft picks at the end of the draft, so you're not really, trading them in a startup. So, but I did make a trade. I traded Jalen Noel, 27 second, for Josh Downs, because my wide receiver core was absolutely terrible. But let's take a look at the team real quick. Malik Willis, Jameer Gibbs, Devon A-Chain, Josh Downs. I got Yoshivas starting because the projection high. Juwan Jennings, Mark Andrews, Ashton Genty, Omarion Hampton, Saquon Barkley, Aaron Rodgers. Obviously, Geno on the bench. Spent the rest of my drafts taking shots on wide receivers. Hopefully, Trey Harris takes a jump this year. Maybe Darnell Mooney starts for a while until Neighbors is back. Obviously, Ricky's in my taxi spot. Still got a first round pick that I'm willing to give up to acquire another wide receiver. But the backs look lethal. Jameer Gibbs, Devon A-Chain, Ashton Genty, Martin Hampton, Saquon Barkley. All those backs can finish in the top 8, 7. But not my best drafted team, but obviously they'll still compete. I look at this playoff team, and if I can acquire another wide receiver or two, um, it'll be a powerful squad. Obviously, I got my 28th straight um, week one winning projection. We're on a streak of 28. We could try to keep that riding. I'm not trying to be in any more dynasty teams or any more dynasty leagues, but we know how that goes. Um, yeah, man. Dang. I peeked over here, it said England 1-0. And while I was peeking, it was already going England 2-0. So I'm going to go catch the rest of this game, man. Mexico definitely was trying to get a W here. So they're definitely going to have to, they still have them, or is that possession percentage? Oh, they've had the ball more, but boys is down 2-0, man. It's not the showing that I thought Mexico was gonna do, but hopefully they can come back, man. It's been some crazy World Cup games, especially that Cape Verde Argentina game. That thing was epic. Um, Shout out to Cape Verde for Mexico. Gonna need a big second half to get back um, in this game here. Soccer is a little different, man. Them goals is tough to come by. But you guys go tune into World Cup. At the same time, before you go do that, make sure you hit that like and subscribe. I appreciate you guys for tuning in, man. Next time, I'll probably go over one of my previous teams and how the method of my madness and way I want to draft this year came about. But I appreciate you guys for tuning in. I'm Hutch. This is no off season. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.